In this video, I will demonstrate how to onboard a Cisco Catalyst switch into the Meraki dashboard to be cloud managed in the device configuration source mode, formerly known as hybrid operating mode. In device configuration mode, the switch is monitored by Meraki dashboard, but it's not controlled or managed by the dashboard. The configuration for the switch is stored and managed locally on the switch, and the dashboard only maintains a backup copy of the switch every time the configuration is changed. In device configuration mode, you have a full access to the physical console port, local and remotely, and it is in read-write at the physical console port, but in read-only by default in the Meraki Cloud CLI, which can be changed to read-write in the organizational settings. First, let's take a quick look at the basic configuration that I already have on the switch. As you can see, I put a host name on, IP routing, a username with level 15 admin rights, and you can also see I have my domain name servers and my IP domain lookup and NTP services. Switching over to my terminal server, I'm going to do a show IP interface brief just to give you a quick idea of the settings of this switch. As you can see, we have a couple of interfaces up and it looks like it's active. Let's just do a ping4.com to see that we can get out to the internet. And now let's do a show NTP status and you'll see that we have NTP turned on. It hasn't synchronized yet, but it is on. So the device will bring up the tunnels if it's on but not synchronized yet. Now let's do a show Meraki and see that we have no tunnels up because the word monitoring is not off to the right hand side of this interface. Now let's do a show Meraki connect and we'll see that it says disabled. Let's go ahead and bring the tunnel up. I'm going to go into config T mode and type service Meraki connect. This command is the only command we need to bring up the Meraki Next tunnels. Here in a few seconds, we'll see the indicator on the screen that shows that both the primary and secondary tunnel are up. By executing the show Meraki command, I can now see the word monitoring on the right-hand side, showing that our tunnels are up and running. I'll also do a show Meraki connect, and we'll also see that both the primary and secondary tunnel are up. I'm going to go ahead and highlight the cloud ID so we can use that in a paste into our dashboard. Back in dashboard, you can see I'm at switches, switching, and there are no switches here. I could click the add switch button here, but just to show you a different way to install a switch, I'm going to go to organizational inventory, and then I'm going to click claim device. I don't have an order number, so I'm going to go ahead and click the hyperlink that says claim individual device. Then I will paste that cloud ID that we collected before and click claim device. Next, we need to add the claim device to a network. So I will click the checkbox next to this device that we just claimed and click the Add to Network button. We can create a new network here or select from a list of existing networks. Once you select your network, click the Next button, and this is where we're going to choose either device configuration mode or cloud configuration mode. In this case, we want to go into device configuration mode because we only want the switch to be monitored, not configured from the dashboard. Next, we'll enter the credentials for the level 15 admin, put in our enable password, and then click the box that says you've read the terms and conditions, which I know you've read every word of it. Then click Next. As you can see, there's a summary page. Just click Add a Network to add this device to the network. Next, I'll navigate to switching switches just so we can see that this device has been added to the dashboard. As you can see, we now have this device and it is in device configuration source mode. I'm going to click on the device and now we're at the main page for this device. Switching back over to the terminal server, let's go ahead and watch the onboarding process. As you can see, it brought down the tunnels and brought them back up as expected. Continue watching the onboarding process. I will edit out all the pauses to make it faster. Now that it's done, let's just do a quick show Meraki to show you that the tunnel is still up with the word monitoring on the right-hand side, and do a show Meraki connect. We'll also see that both of the tunnels are up and running, but nothing has really changed in these two commands. Returning to the dashboard and clicking refresh on the screen, you now see that the device is now configured and in the dashboard. Let's do a quick configuration setup and go ahead and put in the physical address of where this device is so that the map draws out correctly. Now let's go to Cloud CLI and launch the Cloud CLI. If you notice the yellow message, it says that we're in read-only mode, which is the default for device configuration mode for the first time that you install a device. You have to go into settings and change this. Notice that it doesn't let me go into enable or config T mode. So let's go to organizational settings, and then when we get into settings, we'll go ahead and scroll down to the CLI section. Notice when we get there, it's in read-only mode, which is the default. I'm gonna go ahead and put it into configuration and access, but I'm not gonna click the checkbox because if I do, every time I go into CLI, it's gonna ask me for my dashboard password. I'm gonna go ahead and save this configuration, and then I'm gonna go back to the switching switches menu option. Once I'm back in the switches list, I'll go ahead and click on this switch to make sure that we can get into it. Then I'm gonna go back to Cloud CLI and launch the CLI program. Once in there, I'll go into config T mode, and now you'll see that we have access to config. Back in enable mode, I'm gonna do a show run include hostname so that you can see the hostname for this device. And we can see that it's 9300-23. So let's go into config T mode, and then we will change the hostname to have a C in front of it, so it'll be C9300-23. Again, we're just doing a quick, simple configuration test to show you that in device configuration mode, we configure things from the CLI, and we can do that from Cloud CLI or directly connected to the physical console port. As you can see, things have changed in the CLI, and I wrote the config to memory, but notice that the dashboard has not changed yet. Let's go ahead and do a refresh of the page and see if the dashboard has changed. As you can see, the dashboard has now synchronized and has a C in front of the hostname. This has been a presentation from the Solutions Readiness Engineering team. This is Paul Stryer. Have a good day.